Now, we would like to invite Mr. Falcon Chan, Southern Region Strategy and Transformation Leader, Deloitte Hong Kong, to help us moderate this session. Mr. Chan? Joining Falcon on stage include our panelists, Engineer Charles So, Chairman of Smart Mobility Committee, Smart City Consortium. Charles, thank you. Mr. Dongzhe, Director of Smart Mobility, Hong Kong Applied Science and Technology Research Institute. And Mr. Kevin To, CEO, One Energy Technology Limited. Welcome you all. I'll pass you the mic, Falcon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Daniel. So good afternoon and warm welcome to all the guests. And thank you for joining us in this Smart Mobility session. Now, transportation, as you all agree, a vital component of our daily lives, really connecting people, goods, as Suzanne mentioned very rightly, and also ideas across the globe, right? So Hong Kong has vast potential to really become a connected and intelligent mobility hub in the region that's both collaborative and innovative. And that's where advanced mobility solutions come in as an enabler, as a catalyst to really revolutionize the future of transport and pave way for a more connected, more efficient and greener Hong Kong. And I'm honored to be joined today by distinguished experts who will shed light on some of the R&D and also smart mobility trials progress in Hong Kong. But more importantly, provocatively, to think through some of the challenges and opportunities as we go forward into the ecosystem development. So without further ado, I'm going to do a quick round of intro, and I'll pass it over to Charles to kick off.
My name is Charles. I'm the Smart Mobility Chairman of the SEC, and I'm also the past president of Intelligent Transport System Hong Kong. Thank you.
Dongzhe?
My name is Dongzhe Su. I'm Director of Smart Mobility from Austria. Thank you.
Oh, hello, everyone. Thank you. I'm Kelvin Tu from One Energy Group. Our business is powering the light EVs.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Now, Charles, as an expert in both traffic transport planning, your multiple roles, how do you see the latest developments of smart mobility solutions, and how do you ensure sustainable transformation across all the projects you're involved in?
I think Hong Kong have a long history to adopt the smart mobility solutions. Actually, we have implemented the first computerized area traffic controls in the Southeast Asia back in the 1970s. And with the release of the recent smart city blueprint, actually it's just like a catalyst and speed up all the deployment of all the different kind of smart mobility solutions. And the blueprint actually helped to set up all the initiative to formulate the framework, the backbones of for the future's smart mobility development, such as we install more sensors and CCTV to collect more real-time data. We try to encourage more stakeholders to share their data, including the parking data, traffic data, the arrival and departures informations. And we also explore the possibility to have an in-vehicle unit and start to look at the different innovative solutions such as autonomous vehicle, V2X technologies. And afterward, we have our Smart City Blueprint 2.0 release, and then actually it's offer even wider applications for us. And then we can have the recent projects such as the traffic data analytics system, which makes use of some historic data and some real-time data to make some forecast of the journey times for the next 90 minutes. We have the the e-tolling, the FIFO tolling, the Hong Kong e-toll, actually is helped to free up all the tunnel space and also smoothen out the tunnel traffic. And more importantly, it's helped to us to implement the dynamic tolling at the 3 harbor crossings, which has proved to be quite successful to relieve the tunnel traffic during the peak hours. And also the recent implementations of the autonomous vehicles ordinance and the regulations help to allow more flexibility to trial the AV in the public road. So I would say that all these recent smart mobility solutions have proved to be quite innovative and practical and tailor-made to the local needs. And I would say that our development is so far is on the right track. But of course, one must remember smart mobility is evolving very quick. So we must always stay to be updated and try to have a proactive and adaptive mindset so that we can cope with the changing worlds. And regarding how to ensure the sustainable transport across the projects, we have a smart mobility roadmap which set out the rules, how to implement different smart mobility initiatives in a timely and coordinated manner. And they have set out the 5 key objectives, which include a safe, mobility, green, accessibility, informative, so that all the smart mobility initiative will adhere to these 5 objectives to make sure our Hong Kong transport system to be sustainable and to be innovative across different projects. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Charles. One thing I got out of your sharing is the importance of data. We talk a lot about advanced mobility solution, emerging technology, but then the connective glue really is going to be around accessibility and transparency of the data to actually enable the solution in the industry use case. Thank you, Charles. So Dongzhe, you want to share a bit with the audience around ASTRI's vision on Hong Kong's smart mobility landscape, and then also share some recent advancements and progress with the smart mobility trials.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Very happy here to share the work we have done in the past years from ASTRI, especially in smart mobility area. We see Hong Kong is a very special city, actually. It's comparing to like in GBA, other cities, or compared to Beijing, Shanghai. Hong Kong is famous of its efficiency transportation system. And for example, the MTR, the public transportation, right, very advanced. But in the era of smart mobility, especially after 2010, when we talk about an end-to-end solution, when we really want to bring the AI-related and cloud and the smart vehicle, everything together, and provide safe and efficient solution for the citizens, you have to have a step-by-step system to integrate all these layers together. That's why actually we focused on the first at this we call CV2X technology, started from the 2015. And we try to connect the vehicle to the infrastructure and to the cloud and edge system. In this system, that's where all data come from, like vehicle data, roadside data, and we help to enhance the city to allow the system to be operated in a smart way, not in individual area. For example, we have already mature technology for the vehicle, but how to make sure that all different type of AVs can, especially in the very crowded city of Hong Kong, right? They can work together. Brand A works with brand B, and when people, we are driving in Hong Kong's roundabout, we have to, it's very challenging for drivers how to change a lane, right? But how for AI, how they do that. So we have done a lot of projects, for example, starting from the V2X, and we connect the smart cars, smart infrastructures with very advanced sensor technology. For example, us, we have our own sensor technology with privacy protect abilities on the roadside, and we have our edge computing capability, and we have the ability to really make the sensor fusion different type of devices and can be fused together to support the vehicles. So along these parts, actually, we are being able to build a smart mobility technology alliance actually to do this, because when you see what I say, it's about IT, it's about CT, it's about vehicle, right? Everything put together. And we have done a lot of successful projects. For example, we built the first, one of the largest, world's largest CV trial site from Sha Tin to the Sha Tin Town Center to Hong Kong Science Park, right? And we have involved, the buses and especially the minibus and the engineering vehicle, all those public vehicles into the V2X system, and they can share info to make sure the safety. And now, in the past 2 years, we have launched different type of AVs. Someone for human pedestrian carrying someone for cargoes, right? And they all have to live in a very small space in Hong Kong and share the same role. So we have built up, we call it connected autonomous vehicle systems. And just like Dennis just shared, we have launched two very important projects. One is in Western Kowloon, and one is connecting Sha Tin, the MTR station to the Hong Kong Science Park. And we are all looking forward to more autonomous driving, connected autonomous driving coming in this year. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Dongzhe. I think when you mention the word alliance, it really hints at all the ecosystem participants, upstream, midstream, and downstream, that needs to really come together to make a lot of the use case you mentioned for Hong Kong and for our Hong Kong people happen. So thank you, Dongzhe. And of course, last but not least, Kevin, I know One Energy Technology, and you've started up the venture, PE backed, and you're extremely passionate about green energy, new energy, and battery swapping systems. So how can the role of innovative technology really play a role to really driving a sustainable future of transport? Just let you comment.
Yeah, thank you. I started to think about this sustainability since I started getting my kids. I have 3 kids. So people change when you get kids. You think more about the future, right? Before that, I really not thinking about that. But after I got 3 kids, I start thinking about the future, the sustainability of our planet. So I just want to do some small part from myself. A lot of people already taking care of these 4-wheelers, like even air mobility, like Susan just presented. So, but there's still sectors not being taken care of. It's light EVs. When we say light EVs, that means 2-wheelers, 3-wheelers, or even light 4-wheelers. But for this kind of light EV, the light EV is quite small, so it's harder to install this onboard charging, OBC. So they cannot use the fast charging station, the AC charging station installed everywhere, right? So there is an interesting feedback when we attend the Eco Expo Asia in Hong Kong in December 2022. A lot of motorcycle drivers talked to us. They said, we want to switch to e-motorcycle, but there is no infrastructure for us. How can we charge our bike after use, right? So we realize there is a gap, between the demand and supply. So no one is trying to solve this problem for them. Hong Kong have 150,000, yes, registered motorcycle. But as I know, the number last year is 72 e-motorcycle in Hong Kong, which is less than 1%. It's not like they don't want it. They want to use it because the fuel price in Hong Kong is one of the most expensive in the world, right? People want to switch, but there is no infrastructure. How people can use a car without a gasoline station? So when we see that, there is a solution needed to provide in Hong Kong, but not only Hong Kong. Actually, there is more than 800 million motorcycle light EVs in the world. Actually, half of them in Southeast Asia. So we started looking at the industry, see who is the best solution provider to solve this problem. So we used 3 years to acquire the best company in the industry to come up with this One Energy. Now we provide the top solution in the world for these light EVs, how to solve their problem of refuel of the energies through this battery swapping technology. Now we're operating in China, of course, Southeast Asia, Africa, and Mexico. We hopefully can launch our system in Hong Kong very soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kevin. And we absolutely see kind of the demand and uptake in the interest in e-motorcycles. And obviously there's hurdles to be overcome from a legislature, from an infrastructure, from a lot of angles. But that's, we look at that in terms of opportunities for Hong Kong. So circling back on the topic of challenges, Charles, what do you see as some of the key fundamental hurdles, barriers when integrating smart mobility solutions into the developments, and how can these challenges be overcome?
I think there is always, it's normal to have a lot of different hurdles when you want to implement a smart mobility initiative into development, like maybe on the compatibility, operability, expandability, financial viability, and all this. But if you want me to ask me to name a few key challenges, I would say will be the behavior change and also the regulatory framework. I think both of them is a bit rather out of our controls. Is like most smart mobility solutions actually will inevitably ask the user to change some of his behavior and to get used to some unfamiliarized technologies. So sometimes we will give them a trial, a pilot test or incentive, or try to amend the scope in order to get the support. But I think the most core contributing factor in order to manage or overcome behavior change will be engagement. I think engagement can help to address some of the misunderstanding, misconceptions, to alleviate the fears for some new technologies, and also it can help to build up some trust and a positive attitude to the new solutions. Not only that, it can also raise awareness on the benefit, the functionality, and the needs of this kind of solutions through some effective communications and maybe sometimes some education campaign. So I think this is one of the core parts, because we can also have some feedback during the engagement process. Another thing is, I think, like the regulatory frameworks, just like what Kevin has mentioned. Regulator is always hurdles to the implementations of smart mobility into development. I think, of course, the regulation has been created long before the smart mobility emerged. So quite a lot of them is out of date, and then they cannot meet the characteristics or the requirement of the new smart mobility solutions. So in order to overcome that, I would suggest that we need more cooperation amongst the technology developer, the future operators, the regulators, and the other key stakeholders, so as to come up with more open-minded discussions and then come up with regulatory frameworks that address a more diverse perspective to address the different constraints and requirements from the different parties. And of course, another even better is trying to persuade the regulator to adopt the sandbox approach, so that we can test and you can test the trial in a control area, and then we can find out what the shortage, what the gap of the regulations, what area need to be amended, and even more important is the regulators can identify the impact of these smart mobility solutions, and providing the flexibility in innovations and learning in the process.
Thank you very much, Charles. And I think you mentioned a really good point around sandbox, because as you mentioned, regulations has been set a number of years ago, and technology continue to evolve. Now, how do you provide a safe, protected, but also an innovation sandbox that allow people to innovate and kind of test out the impact and in turn influence where regulation and standards should be changed? And on the topic of standards, I'm going to move on to Dongzhe. How do you see the state of Hong Kong's smart mobility standards? And if there are any gaps in terms of where it should evolve, and referencing on global standards, how should Hong Kong move forward, Dongzhe?
I think, as I just said, Hong Kong has a very unique situation, and has its advantage in its special city environment that is very closed, high buildings. We have this area, right? We have very crowded pedestrian on the road. And for example, if you talk about the smart mobility, like the industry stage, I have to say it's still in quite, the penetration rate is still low. For example, autonomous vehicle, no major city is using it as its main transportation way. Why? Because you cannot handle all the corner cases. We talk about corner cases. You may be able to handle like 95% of the situation, but for the other 5%, you have to spend a lot of energy or other resources to solve it. So Hong Kong is a place that you face corner case everywhere. Like, for example, you in Hong Kong, right? You drive from Hong Kong Science Park to the Shanghai Town Center, right? And in the 2 mile outside Hong Kong Science Park, you have 3 roundabouts. But if you want to see these challenging areas, if you move to Beijing, they use a very, very good road condition place, and in Pingshan, they pick this area and let the AV companies to do. So the penetration rate is kind of low, and those standards are built kind of, cannot solve these key challenging places. So I say for standard, Hong Kong is a place that we really can use the application and trial to find out all the, I'm not saying all the major part of the corner cases. And the standard of Hong Kong, we can build here, are really targeting the commercialization and uses. For example, for the AV we are using in Hong Kong, we first, the trial, the AV bus connecting Science Park with the MTR station. I mean, which city start in this environment? Right? So in this way, we can generate really a lot of contributions to the industry. Yeah.
Thank you, Dongzhe. And smart mobility trials, like Hong Kong is an absolute great pilot grounds to really move things forward, be experimental grounds, fast moving, and let's be agile about how we develop. And also, I guess more importantly, is also to get the word out around all the limitless potential of smart mobility solutions and what it means in terms of actual deployment and commercialization opportunities. And of course, that also hints at then connectivity into the greater Bay Area and what it means in terms of collaboration within the region.
Yes, true. And Hong Kong, our transportation rules, the vehicle, right? You have to sit on the right to drive, and you cannot drive directly to Shenzhen for normal people previously. And we see in the smart mobility area, we do have a chance to use the AI system, assist driver to get used to it. So that's why we initiate this cross-border initiative to really connect Hong Kong's smart mobility, not only the vehicle system, AV system, but the smart infrastructure with Shenzhen. And we are, Astri is leading the Hong Kong part, our partner, called the Shenzhen Smart City Group is leading on Shenzhen side, and we have initiated this work plan since 2022, and we hope that we will have the first cross-border trial next year, and that's its plan. Yeah.
Thank you, Dongzhe. So Kevin, you earlier mentioned about your passion, battery swapping systems and all that. So in the context of sustainability, given it's a key thematic topic under our entire forum today, how can battery swapping systems and LEV powertrain systems significantly reduce environmental impacts of transportation?
Yes, Hong Kong actually transportation, produced I was told like 90% of this, carbon footprint. Yeah. So actually, for this light EVs, not only two-wheelers, actually including three-wheelers and four-wheelers, they actually can reduce a lot of, carbon, footprints by these EV batteries. So, but the problem is how we can help them. How we can help them to switch from traditional, petrol-powered to EV vehicles. So that's why we needed to build up this infrastructure, right? Just like China already have 40 million delivery drivers using battery swapping, which is already be approved to be a good solution, right? So what we need to do in Hong Kong is actually we need to build up this swapping network. But of course, the safety is the main issue for this EV industry. A lot of people concerned about this, battery fire, right? Yeah. So actually, there is an accident in Nanjing, last month. So actually, the government in China is already talking about ban these home charging for these e-motorcycles because this create a lot of fire and deadly cases. Yeah. So, but when the battery charging in the swapping station, it's much safer because all the battery status like a current, temperature, status of the battery cell is actually monitored by the computer. So if there is anything wrong, then they will cut the power and spray the water cooling down the battery to avoid the fire. Or even there is a fire inside the swapping station, is contained by the station. They will not have this collateral damage to the car next to you. So it's much safer, already proved. Right now, a lot of the local government in China already discussing with us how to deploy this swapping system in the residential area. So I think in Hong Kong is actually very good, environment for EVs. Because now the hurdle of EV is a driving range, right? But Hong Kong is small, honestly, a small city. So EV is very suitable for Hong Kong. And we have 19 regions in Hong Kong, right? So what we need to do is just deploying this network across these regions so the people can easily access to this swapping network. Then people very happy to switch their motorcycle to e-motorcycles. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Now, I want to circle back. We explored quite a few ideas today. If you were to take a step back and just name one aspect, be it policy and regulation, be it infrastructure like Kevin you mentioned, the provision of talent, access to funding, so many elements that needs to come together to really advance the smart mobility ecosystem, the future for Hong Kong and transport. Let's start with you, Charles. What's the one thing that you would kind of highlight and the call to action, both to the audience and I guess to a broader Hong Kong audience, what we need to do?
I think just like the other speakers has mentioned, I think I would say the government support and regulatory support is one of the prime factors. As I mentioned, all this smart mobility initiative, smart city initiative actually is growing so fast, and then the technology is growing, evolving so quick. And then even the users' characteristics are changing every other day. And so it's hard for the regulatory to be get same pace with these technologies enhancements. So I think it would be great if our government can establish a more flexible regulatory framework so that to cope with this kind of changes, and also try to establish a more policy-friendly environment, such as to provide more incentive or subsidies, such as to push forward of some kind of innovative smart mobility initiative. And also, if the government can also assist in the collaborations of the collaboration among the different stakeholders, not just in the local, but the local with the overseas parties. All this will be helpful to the overall ecosystem. And of course, just now we also mentioned a lot of, actually the infrastructure development is a bit left behind. So if the government can sometimes plan ahead of the infrastructure development, such as just like the EV charging facility and also maybe some data sharing platforms, they can plan ahead and then have this platform in advance. So it will help the ecosystem to push forward the great ideas faster and in a more efficient manner.
Thank you, Charles. Loud and clear. Dongzhe, your thoughts?
I would say talent is word. From my point of view, actually Hong Kong is a talent engine of, we can say, not only GBA, but also China and globally. And we know that there are a lot of company and industry not located in Hong Kong, but we are very close to Shenzhen, to Dongguan, this city. But we have very talented the research group from many universities. But these very talented people, actually, they're not contributing efficiently to the lending technology to Hong Kong itself. I know the country have built a lot to the global theory, research area, of course. But at this stage, talking about smart mobility, we really need this talent to handle the problems we are facing. For example, as I just mentioned, the corner cases. Take one small area, the navigation. How do you enhance the navigation system to help the vehicle and pedestrian to find its own place, position in the city? Like Hong Kong, we have, for example, many tall buildings surrounding, blocking the signal from the satellite, right? We have this best side. We have the most efficient government from my point of view, because Hong Kong government actually, they collaborate very efficiently. And we have these, the test ground already built up. So we want to really trigger this mechanism to allow these professors, students to work on it. And that's what ASTRI has been doing in the past years. And we, for example, we find out those, we call it scientific problems from those application systems. And we work with professors to handle it. We want this mechanism to be more and more efficient. And that's we see that from Hong Kong, only Hong Kong can provide this talent to the world, I can say. Thank you.
Thank you, Dongzhe. The whole talent equation absolutely critical as Hong Kong taking a step back, steering towards becoming an innovation and technology powerhouse, right? In the GBA, but also on the global scene. So absolutely echo and the whole power of the upstream R&D collaboration of academia, but how to really make it real. How do you actually think through the commercialization path, and a lot of practical problems to be solved. And Charles, in earlier conversation, we had like Smart City Consortium. There's so many things under the Smart City Blueprint, and including this whole connectivity equation. So last but not least, gonna circle back to Kevin. Your thoughts on the one aspect?
I think Charles just mentioned the regulation is quite important, right? But my experience is actually for this new technology, new industry like this EV, it's new to the government, right? And so we need to have this new regulation so the industry player can, to moving forward, right? But this is actually, my experience is related to cross-department issues, right? It's not only one, transportation department or fire department or EMC. It's actually cross-department issues. We need to get green light from different department of the government. So I would suggest if there is a possible way to set up a cross-department, unit who can help the industry player to push forward to create or set up a new regulation or rules for this new, new things, right? Yeah. So this will be, very important for us. For example, in Hong Kong, the best place to develop this, set up this infrastructure is actually the residential area under the housing department of Hong Kong and the MTR, right, close to the MTR area. But this already, related to the housing department, MTR, as well as the fire department also have this involvement, right? So this is not some individual company can push forward. We tried before, so it's not really that easy. I think the government can, if possible, can set up this, a small group to push that, forward. Then this can solve a lot of issues, yeah. And we can learn from a lot of neighbor countries, right? For example, Korea, they convert the telephone spot to the swapping station because everyone has mobile phone now. No one uses the telephone booth, right? So they convert this on the street telephone booth to the battery swapping station. This actually helps a lot, right? And our mainland China, right? The government is actually promoting this battery swapping business. So there's a lot of, rules and regulations we can learn from.
Thank you very much, Kevin. I think in a short 30 or so minutes, we explored quite a number of things, and there's actually quite a few food for thoughts around regulations, around setting standards, around, Kevin, to your point, collaboration, even within the government, with industry players, we need the right voice. Dongzhe talked a lot about technical standards and what's the future of smart mobility, but looking beyond the technical emerging technology development, how can we actually think through all the stakeholders that needs to be involved? So the session today really just the tip of the iceberg to ignite a conversation and hopefully for the audience, a bit of inspiration around what the future of smart mobility for Hong Kong would be. So with that, I want to thank you, our panelists, Charles, Dongzhe, and Kevin again for engaging in that dialogue. And I think this is just the start of a fruitful long-term collaboration in the industry. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for all the interesting discussion. May I invite our speakers to take a group photo together? Our cameraman is getting ready. So maybe you can stand in the middle. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Let's just look at the cameraman in the middle. Oh, looking very handsome. One. We also have some media here as well. 1, 2, 3.